Hello there and welcome back to another edition of the Hot Lap Classic Remastered. Today we're taking a look at the 1999 Mercury Cougar. This car was suggested by Lavaman1997, and if that's your date of birth, then me and you were born in the same year. How nice is that? Speaking of nice, Mercury Cougar. I think this is the most powerful front-wheel drive car in the entire game. 520 horsepower. That's an awful lot to put through the front wheels, and I think we're getting to the point now where at 520 horsepower, I don't think this is going to drive particularly well, but we'll see how it does. As I mentioned, front wheel drive, 520 horsepower, 1,237 kilos. It's only 3 kilos lighter than that Sylvia we had last time, and this has full weight reduction. Then again, this is supposed to be some sort of personal luxury vehicle, isn't it, based off the Ford Mondeo. Anyways, it is going to get 6 laps of the Motorsports Land tracks at the best time it possibly can. Current leader is the Daihatsu Storia rally car, a 28.410. The Cougar is unlikely to beat that. The Cougar, I don't really know if it drives well. It could challenge the Mitsubishi Eclipse as the fastest front-wheel drive car we've had. If it doesn't, I mean, it will. I don't know. I'm going to say, as a tentative time for this, the Dodge Avenger is a 31.699. Sort of similar front-wheel drive car with distinctively not American underpinnings underneath it. Yeah, we'll go there. This car does have a sister car in the game as well, the Ford Cougar, which actually, when I was building this set of cars up for this, I was originally going to use the Ford Cougar, was actually going to appear here, and then I got Lavaman's comments about the Mercury Cougar, and so I was like, okay then, I guess we'll just swap the Ford one out for the Mercury one, and the Ford can come later. In case you're wondering what came first, the Mercury Cougar or the Ford Cougar, the Mercury Cougar is actually the dominant car. All Cougars were built in America with sort of American ideologies, if you will, and they were brought back over to Europe. I think the reason this sort of came over here is because the Ford Puma was in Europe, and that was actually quite a successful car for Ford, so Ford said, okay, we'll bring the Cougar here and try to market it as sort of the bigger version of it. And time's sort of forgotten the Ford Cougar, and probably the Mercury Cougar by extension as well, but these cars, when they were first coming out, you know, they reviewed quite well. The Mondeo is quite a capable platform, really, for a sort of sporty coupe, and these were the 2.5 litre V6s, which is a very good engine. Yeah, they must have been quite interesting. I used to see these, they were actually quite popular. I used to see these quite often. You don't anymore. All of them have rotted away now. I'd imagine the only sort of Ford Cougars left are Mercury Cougars, just because they come from better climates. That is going to be a massive corner cut, which is not going to help this car. And we'll see if this last lap is any better, but I think that is far too wide already into that first corner. It is not great to drive. I'll be honest on this one. It's, you can see there, it's just smoke pouring off all the wheels. It actually, take this as a compliment or a curse, I can't really tell which way around it is. This drives an awful lot like a really bad four-wheel drive car. Like, you can look at that. You can four-wheel drive drift it, basically, into the corners, but obviously you can't get the traction on the way out because it's not a proper four-wheel drive car. It's very weird to drive, incredibly strange to drive. Almost as incredibly strange as the whole point of the Mercury Cougar in the first place, I guess. But yeah, interesting car, interesting driving characteristics. Yeah, interesting. In terms of where it goes on the leaderboard, that's also a little bit weird. It is a 30.915. This is another one of those cars where the more you try to hurry it, the worse it becomes. 30.915 will put it in to 37th place. it is actually one of the quicker front-wheel drive cars. Loses out slightly to the Type R Honda Civic. It's quicker than Supra, which is funny. Quicker than the RX-7 Cabriolet, MX-5 Mazda Roadster. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a little bit quicker than the front-wheel drive saloon cars that we've had. So, I think that's a pretty good place for it. And it crushes the Dodge Avenger as well, but we sort of knew that was going to happen. Yeah, it was alright. I mean, it drives terribly, but with 520 horsepower, it definitely gets along. It's one of the quickest in a straight line front-wheel drive cars we've had, at least. I don't know if it quite feels like it's got 520 horsepower, but it's certainly not bad. So, there you go. Anyways, that's it for this episode. Thank you all very much for watching, and join me next time when I'll be driving something with probably less power. Until then, farewell.